Welcome to the new sound of online radio. Welcome to the sound of Universal Broadcasting Network. 'Cause you make me feel like I've been locked out of heaven. A mix of today's hits and hard-to-find favorites, combined with the most entertaining and intriguing talk anywhere. This is your sound. This is the sound of Universal Broadcasting Network at UBNradio.com.
Jarvis. You did. Oh, okay. I see what kind of show this is going to be.
Okay.
Deidre.
Hi,
everybody.
Right?
Welcome to It's Time to Talk. I'm April.
And I'm Deidre. Happy Saturday, everybody.
Happy Saturday. Awesome. So glad to be here.
Yes.
Regardless, Jarvis.
No, we love Jarvis.
Absolutely.
That's our man.
That's our man.
Your hair.
What?
It looks
my hair?
so cute.
Thank you.
I love it. Love it. Love
Thank
it. Love
you.
it. So I'm going to get mine done, too, because I've been wanting braids all summer. It's like summer's almost pretty much over. And usually I try to get braids in the summertime because it's convenient and, you know, with it being so hot and stuff. So
I think summer's almost over because the season of summer is almost over. But I think the heat is about to start.
Again.
You know how it's so weird. It seems like, you know, I think even Stevie Wonder had a song, Hotter Than July. But it just hasn't been hot in July in so long. It's hot in August. Think about it. In September and October.
It's been hot all summer long.
No, it hasn't. There's been like this huge marine layer.
Heat waves to me.
Where have you lived?
Oh my gosh.
For the last 3 months. Because to me, we've had this marine layer. It's been cool. It's been nice. But like we're supposed to have this huge heat wave this week.
No, it's been hot. It's been humid. I think it's been humid more than anything. Because I don't know. Seems like for me, unless I'm just hot flashing. I don't know. But
I think that's it. I didn't want to say anything. Throw you under the bus.
It's like I am hot every second of the day. I'm just like,
it's the stage of your life.
But yeah, but
shout
your hair looks
out.
beautiful.
Thank you. Shout out to my girl Dominique Allen.
Dominique.
She's the one that did my beautiful do, and I love her. I love her. She's like family.
She is.
We grew up with her mom, Rhonda, who is awesome and beautiful, and so is Dominique. And so, if you guys love the style like I do,
and
you just gotta stroke it. I just gotta stroke it.
I know. When you get
my hair,
done.
I gotta stroke my hair. For those of you who are just listening,
what
get that straight. That's what I've been doing.
Hey, I've been stroking.
That's what I've been doing.
Oh gosh! I had to go there. I was telling my age.
Name? I know, really. You're talking about, well, hey, you let it out the bag with the hot flashes.
No, they show all those infomercials, so you know.
That's true.
You
late at night.
Late
at night.
Yeah.
Late at night. Two things open late at night. We're not going to go there.
Okay.
So anyway, like I was saying, I digress. For those of you who do like my style, like I love it. It's more of a shout out to her because I couldn't do this by myself. There is no way. Look her up on Facebook. Dominique Allen, DOMONIQUE. Dominique Allen. So hit her up on Facebook and maybe she can create a beautiful style for you.
I'm going to be next, so you'll see,
her
next creation when I come in.
I already told her. She's already knowing.
But anyway.
Awesome.
Oh, good. Nice.
Yeah.
So, April, we've been, there's so much that can happen,
In the 2 weeks when we're not
here.
Yes,
exactly. We have the whole Charlottesville unfortunate incident, that whole situation with the protests. So it was.
But it didn't start out as was it more of a rally for free speech? Is that how it started? Or was it a protest against the
it says
nationalists?
Well, no, they said that white nationalists took to the streets over that weekend to protest the removal of the General Robert E. Lee statue.
Oh.
So there was another opposing group that was there, and they clashed and they protested. and it turned into violence.
Okay.
And so, unfortunately, through this whole horrible situation, there was 3 lives lost. Of course, the one that's being more, publicized is, unfortunately, Heather Heyer.
Yeah.
And, a beautiful young lady who was down for, not for hatred, hate.
Right.
It was not in her vocabulary. Right. She was, activist and all of those types of things. So our hearts, definitely our hearts and condolences go out to her mother, Susan Bro. And she's been out, at her service and things like that, just telling us how wonderful her daughter is and was, so. And then, unfortunate too, helicopter policemen, they were in a helicopter, they passed as well. So
the helicopter crashed?
It did.
Is that what happened?
So, and they were killed. So just, out of the whole thing, out of this, the hate and violence, people lose lives. People, it's a horrible negative. It's an energy, it's horrible. Just the whole, your heart can love or your heart can hate. And when you build up, whichever one you build up, that festers, that grows, it manifests.
Right.
And it manifests into physical, the tangible things.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately, it's people getting hurt, people dying and those types of things. So that's why it's really something that, that we're aware of and we should not entertain, we should not believe in, we should not deal with.
And unfortunately, there's this whole segment of people who I guess they feel like, they don't have a voice and they're being overlooked and they're losing something that they think they've had all along, which is this country. So they want to take it back. They want to take it away from everyone else. And it
doesn't work that way.
First of all, it's too late.
Yeah,
we're not going anywhere.
Yes, and there's so many more people here of different. I mean, the whole country's been built on immigrants. So,
slaves.
Like, who are you really taking it back from?
Forced immigration.
And so it's just unfortunate. It's about not being able to change, getting used to change and thinking and not your mind is closed for one thing, because you're not even thinking in terms this world is full of abundance. This world is full, has enough, more than enough for everyone to fit in, to do and to be whatever they want to be. And for you to think that something's being taken away from you, that's your own insecurities, that's your own fears.
That's exactly where it comes from. Your own anger and insecurities.
Exactly.
And like you said, it's going to breed, it's going to fester, and it has to come up. I think it's all coming up to be seen and to be cleared for the last freaking time. I really do. I think there's so many people out there who say, oh, it's never going to go away. We're always going to have this. We'll always have conflict. We'll always have the opposites. That's the world that we live in, duality, of course. But I think this is just the last hard stance. We have a president who is all for it, all for nationalism and all, supporting, he just let that guy, he gave that guy a pardon, who was a known racist.
Right,
and,
in Arizona.
It's just kind of in your face and it's giving them momentum and it's making them feel, they're puffing their chests up and they're feeling that they're righteous, they're right with whatever they're doing.
Right.
But the good thing is that love always prevails.
Always prevails, yes.
God always prevails, and God is love.
Yes.
And so, we'll watch it. We'll see social media. It's everywhere. We're inundated with the images, but don't lose heart is what I have to say.
Exactly.
Good people out there, just don't lose heart.
Lose heart, yeah.
Keep love in your heart because that will prevail. It looks bad.
Yeah.
It looks scary. Our brothers are falling left and right. Our sisters are falling left and right. And I mean all races.
Right.
The people who are fighting the good fight. But just let's not lose heart.
Absolutely.
And
love will overcome. Like you said, don't lose heart, don't lose hope. It will overcome. But like you said earlier too, I think it is all happening for a reason, because now they're coming out of the closet, the racists. We're seeing, because people were Obama era, everybody's like, oh, there's no racism now.
It's over.
It's kumbaya.
We've overcome.
This and that. And we were like, at least
the dream
black people were like, no, it's still here and exists.
Revealed, yes.
And so now things like this, Charlottesville, it just opens that wound and it exposes that is still here, and it shows that we still have
Charlottesville.
So many. We have work to do still, as a country. So, but so anyway, love will prevail, and condolences out to the families.
Absolutely.
Who
also
stand for justice.
Also, prayers to all the people who are being affected by the hurricane.
Yes.
Harvey, is it?
Yes, I believe it's Harvey.
Hurricane Harvey
in Texas.
It's hitting Texas, and I know people out there. And,
we have family out there too.
We do have family out there, aunts and cousins or whatever.
Yeah, so stay safe, you guys, and hopefully everyone is out of harm's way with that.
I don't think there's been a Category 4 hitting any land in America for like over 10 years or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, and it's supposed to rain, I think, for days, if not, or weeks. So.
But I think the government declared a state of emergency, and Trump, is going to give them money for it, which is good. Okay. So to help them out. Good. Speaking of Trump, the eclipse. I guess I should say. Yeah. Did you see the eclipse, Deidre?
I get bumped. No, I get. I didn't see it. I didn't look in the sky to see it, but I was looking out my window and I noticed how it was sunny and then it went to gray. But I was on the phone.
Where were you?
I was in my house, but I was on the phone.
Were we on the phone together?
Yes, I think so.
Gray? It wasn't gray for me. It was sort of just a little haze.
It looked great. It looked great to me because I wondered. I saw the difference, and I'm watching it on TV. They were in Illinois. I guess that's where the the people were most, they could see it actually happening. They had the glasses on. There was a big
Oregon.
event.
It went like Oregon. It had a route.
So for us, it was very dim, and that's what bummed me out because it's like we don't get to see the spectacular,
but what's
things
funny?
like that.
They say it happens every 100 years, but I don't know because I've seen it before.
And that's what I said.
Little. I'm not 100 in like whatever age I am.
I said that too. I said we've been through this before, an eclipse, right?
I'm not over 100, so
Jarvis, do you remember an eclipse?
Yeah. And we had to have the special thing because you're not supposed to look directly at it.
Were we
say that again? You're
school?
not supposed to look directly at it, unlike our president. Did you guys see the picture?
I didn't see the picture, but
he was looking.
Oh my gosh! No wonder he can't get nothing right. He can't even see straight. He's blinded.
You know what's funny? So I was looking at that, and everybody was like, he's crazy. Lord. What's wrong with him that you're not supposed to look at it, and then he's squinting, he's looking directly at the sun. But I'm like, did somebody set him up? Because when someone tells you not to look at something, you look.
Did
somebody set him up?
Oh my gosh.
Like the moon is about to eclipse the sun. President Trump, the moon is about to eclipse the sun. Don't look because it'll blind you. And he looks.
But something tells me he would have done that anyway. Whether he was told or not.
Because he's the president.
Because he's
and he has all that power. And he has more power than the moon and the sun.
We're not dealing with this irrational adult male.
That was kind of funny though.
That is funny.
I had to mention that.
I like that. It was pretty good.
But I'm pretty excited because Tuesday you and I are going to a premiere screening of OWN's new TV documentary Black Love.
I'm so excited about that because I've been seeing the previews on TV and I was like, I think that's just a fabulous idea, a fabulous show.
Yeah, it's a documentary and it has Devon Franklin and Megan Good. Yes. It has Tia Mowry and her husband. It also has Erica and Warren Campbell.
Right.
So there are celebrities, but there's also
Viola
everyday
Davis
and her husband. But there's also everyday people.
Okay.
But it's a documentary, and basically, from what I could tell, is that they're telling stories about how they met.
Oh, okay, how fun! How
romantic! I love stories about love, and I love stories about how people got together and met, especially the ones that got together and it kind of just hit them. All the love at first sight is cool or whatever. Right, but I like the ones where they didn't know at first.
Right.
And then they just had this bond. And I think that is so cool. So I can't wait to see, we'll talk, they'll be talking about clips and showing clips and they'll be talking about
and we'll get to see it, right?
Parts of the documentary.
I
think we'll just see, I don't know.
Just
I think we'll see clips. I don't know. But I'm excited.
That is.
Because when it came on, we were at your house and when it came on, we screamed.
It's like, wow.
Little girls.
I think OWN they're steadily, gradually doing great things that are interesting to people. So,
very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. And you know what's also cool?
What's cool?
Our guest that's coming up on the show today,
absolutely.
Timneisha Greene.
Oh, so excited.
Can't wait to get her in here.
Yeah, she's a millennial.
So,
it's rarely that we get someone as young as her in
here. Give us some insight on what's
happening these days with
the mind of the millennial.
Yes. A different breed.
She is founder and coordinator of a scholarship program, Tim's Call to Action.
Nice.
So she's going to come in and she's going to talk about that and so much more. And we want you to please stay tuned. And after the break, we'll bring her in.
Speak Your Week will guide you through the process of using the power of your thoughts and words to create more positivity and success in your life. Day to day and week to week. Written by It's Time to Talk's own host, April Jordan. This dynamic book will remind you of the powerful person you really are and how to use that power to create the life that you want. Want better health, success, abundance, love, and more. Within the chapters, you will discover the kind of thoughts, emotions, and words you should be speaking about the things that matter to you most. Also, Included in this book are affirmations to speak each day of the week. When spoken in daily succession, these affirmations gain momentum and can help you on your journey towards the life of your dreams. There's no other way around having the life that you want. It all starts with you. Get ready to speak your week. Available for download at Amazon.com.
Timneisha Greene, yes, founder and coordinator of the scholarship program Tim's Call to Action. Please welcome her to the show.
Thanks for having me.
You're so welcome.
Thanks for being. I want to call you Tim because that's what I call you outside of the studio.
Exactly.
Even though your name's Timneisha, which is beautiful.
Yes.
So I'll be calling her Tim. We'll be calling her Tim.
Yeah.
Tim
so
is good.
Welcome. So tell us about this scholarship program.
Okay, so my scholarship program is called Timmy's Call to Action. Mm-hmm. It was funded by myself in 2015. I started it because I know that in people of color, African American communities, education is not as promoted to the youth. Right. And I noticed that a lot of the youth are struggling or don't take it as serious, and they have like behavioral problems and things of that sort. So I wanted to get something that would promote them and push them to focus on education and know that it is a good thing.
So what made you so passionate about that? I mean, so many of us overlook that.
Right.
No, I'm just being honest.
That's
it's not that I don't care about it, but so many people, I should say, overlook it. So what made you so passionate about that?
Oh, well, from my own personal experience, myself, I'm usually not an open book, but I don't mind being an open book to help someone. But I wasn't a high school graduate. So I'm like, oh, no, And so then I got into community college, and I got my AA, and then I got my BA, and I was like, this school thing is actually for me. Like, why didn't I get it in high school? So it's like, where did that, like, the division or the disconnect happened when I was younger? Why wasn't I so into school? And so that's where I'm like, it has to start early. So that's where it came from. Like it has to start early. Like you have to love school, like get kids to love school when they're younger. So.
Very important because the distractions, being peer pressure, I think that's where a lot of times we fall, in those areas, because you by the time, if you don't start early, introducing to children loving to read books at a young age is very important. And if you don't start there doing those things, the peer pressure comes. Now you got the cell phones. Now you got the music. Now you got clothes. You got all those things that distract you. So then I could see how, you're not focused. And if you don't have that support really guiding you, staying on you to get your studies done, turn that off. It's time for homework. Let's find out what career path you want to do. What education level do you want to take? What schools are we looking at before, as young as...
it's a process.
Yes.
It's an ongoing process, and it takes a lot of time and hours to figure that out, as you know, but I love how I'll just call it an epiphany. I love that you actually you enrolled in junior college, and you said, you know what, this isn't so bad. I can do this. Because I think a lot of people think with in terms of things that they haven't done, that they can't do it.
Right.
Yeah,
You know,
there's a lot of people my age, people older than I. They're nervous to go back to school, or they think they can't do it, or that they're failures. And it's like, no, you have it in you, so go back. And, and I just want to push education, especially to our community, because of like the barriers that's placed on us. Like, we have to work even more harder to get our foot in the door. So it's like, if you have it when you're younger, it'll stay with you. And so that's what I want to push for, the kids. And it started with my family too. Like, I have like 10 nieces or nephews, and I'm like, okay, no, you're gonna graduate high school. You're I don't want your life to be hard. And so this is where it came from. And so it started with me presenting it to my nieces and nephews,
which is perfect.
Yeah, and then it's like, okay, let me promote it to my extended family, and then friends in the community. So that's
a beautiful
That's
thing.
Wonderful.
And I want to give a shout out to my son Abasi, because he was the first recipient of her scholarship award. There's a picture of my baby right there.
Oh yes,
with Tim. And he was excited about it because he's a straight A student. I shout him out on the show a lot. I'm so proud of him.
Man. I am proud of him too.
First year in high school, and I'm just so proud of him, like I said. But when he found out that he even qualified, he was like, "That's a thing."
See, I would have been like that if I was his age. Like, scholarships at my age.
That's what he said. Being that age, he's like, "That's a thing. I can get that now." It's like, well, yes, because of your hard work. So and I said, so stick to it, because he's on that path where he can have a scholarship to college.
Exactly.
I said, you can write your own ticket.
Absolutely.
Just stay focused. And so I thanked you for it, because it encouraged him even more. Like he needed that tangible thing in his hand. Like, wow, okay, I did all that hard work. So I think that's beautiful what you're doing for kids, and even letting them know, even at the young age. You said, I think you told me kindergarten through
high school.
Through high school.
Okay. That's beautiful.
And like with, being in school so much, I'm still in school going to my master's program.
Awesome.
And like in learning that, you learn that kids that do not so well when they're younger, turn out to have behavioral problems. So even kindergarten, that's important to like see their grades, to see how they're doing, because you could probably stop something, or stop a problem. Like, wait, why aren't you doing your work? Is this a behavior problem? You can actually fix that right away. So that's why I said kindergarten to high school.
I agree, because I think a lot of times children are overlooked, especially with the amount of classrooms that are overfilled with students. It's one teacher to like 30, 40 kids, and how can you, you got diamonds in the rough, but how can you really know who they are? And, and some are acting out, but they have brilliant minds, because, children, everybody starts at a same level playing field when they're small like that, but it's up to, like I said, the parents, the teachers to identify and pull out that gift, or to pull out or to steer them in that right direction. So it's wonderful what you're doing. Your first year, you said 2015. How many students signed up then?
So for the year of 2015, the school year 2015, 2016, there were only 2 students that signed up. I was like, wait, what's going on? But then I was like, don't worry about it. Just enjoy the ones that are in it, because when you put something like that to the community, some people like, is this a real thing? So, and then the year of 2016, 2017, which just passed, that one closed up. There were 7 students. So I was like, okay.
Growing.
And it motivates me, like, okay, I'm doing it for a good reason, like, and then so for the 2017, 2018, there's like more than 20 students.
Wow.
I was
beautiful.
Awesome.
Look at that.
I was so happy. So
that's a short amount of time, from 2 students 2015 to now to 20.
Yes, I was like, beautiful. And then I received because I promoted on Instagram and Facebook, so I received like a message from like someone on the school district of ABC School District.
Okay.
He like contacted me and said, he'll promote it at his school board meetings and things like that. Yeah, and I also had another person from Cal State Long Beach. She works in the outreach program, and she also said she was sharing my stuff.
Look at that.
So I was like, okay, this
the beauty
this
of
is on the
social
roll.
media.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you have the good heart to do it. You know, your intentions are beautiful behind it. So, yeah, of course it's going to grow.
Well, you know, anything with God is about
yes.
service.
Yes.
So when we step out of ourselves and we do something for others, because it's not about ourselves. So when you step out and do something for something else, someone else, I should say, it's your blessings. Everything is going to come back to you. People get caught up in, it's me, and competition and this and that, but not realizing the bigger gift, the big blessing is doing for someone else. All your dreams, desires will happen and come to you with just to take your mind off yourself. You know, so that's a beautiful thing. So I know that's why it doesn't surprise me that you're being blessed and it's growing so fast because you're providing a great service to people, and especially people that need it, and the young folks. And you're just so young. You're a millennial. We were just talking like these millennials these days. I'm like
they are doing the doggone thing.
I'm like, we said you.
I gotta up my game.
Well, I said we set them up.
We can credit so we can lay back and just lay back and watch and just observe. Okay,
exactly.
Go on and do
got
your
it
thing,
from
girl.
somewhere.
Right.
Report it to me. I'm so proud of you. Good job.
Right.
You know, okay.
Or the
I feel
opposite,
less stressed about
or they
that.
see the stuff that we should have been doing and
Learn from our mistakes.
Yes, like they're missing this, and this.
That's what they're supposed to be doing. Learning from our mistakes.
No, actually, yes. I'm just playing.
We have some people tuned in. Thank you all for watching.
Yes.
We have Trina Green Brown. She says, "I see you, Tim."
She said beautiful.
Yeah, she said she's so proud of you for the work that you are doing to support the
thank
children
you.
reach their academic dreams. Sister
Sister
Simpson
Simpson.
said, "What you're doing is beautiful."
Nice.
So you got some people. You're encouraging a lot of us out here.
Wow.
You know what you're doing.
I love it.
Yeah.
Love it. So tell us more. So you have your scholarships. So what do you see it? What's your vision with it?
My vision is I would love to get some grants from government,
Right.
you know, some sponsors. And actually, I had someone very close to me, thank you. She know who she is.
Okay.
She reached out to me and said she would donate, you know, money or gift cards and things of that sort. So I was like, so just to expand it more, even if it turns into a nonprofit where I can actually, it can be a business, you know, or, you know, if people need tutoring services, they can come, you know, to the, you know, to the organization, things like that.
Okay.
I see it going that way. Well, that's where I would love for it to go.
So I talked about my son being a straight A student as far as, you know, and he won the scholarship, but that is, you don't have to be a straight A student, right? What are the qualifications?
So there's different categories for like high school students. I know that high school students have it, you know, a struggle. They have it tougher than the other students. So I would just say improved grades. So from the last report card to this report card, I'd like to see improved grades. They don't have to be all A's, just improvement. I do require a 2.5 GPA. And then if they are having like difficulties in school, I want to know that you are going out there to get help. You're going to tutoring services. I didn't use that in high school. I wish I did, you know, but I would encourage them to go get tutoring, and they have to have someone sign off on it saying that they were there.
Right.
I want them to go to the career center, the transfer center. So those are the requirements for high school students. Everything has to be signed.
Right. Awesome.
Also, for the middle school, they just need to have A's and B's on all projects. I remember when I was in middle school, we were like working on the solar system or something. So just like projects like that, exams and things, report cards. I would love to see them with just A's and B's, and also for them to be involved in the sport or a club. You know, that leadership
some activity
role.
outside, like
activity.
social. Yeah.
Right. So I want
important.
them to be involved, you know. And then for the kindergarten and elementary scales, just bring in some certificates, you know, perfect attendance, spelling bee, things of that sort. And I just want C's or B's. I mean, C's are high.
C's are
high.
Right. Gotcha.
Yeah. And those are the simple requirements.
So it sounds like you're just saying work towards it. Be working towards it. Be actively working on improving your grades, yourself, your curriculum, you know, activities, you know.
Yeah.
So you don't want like the little kids coming in, like they get a certificate saying, the cutest little bad kid.
Right.
No, certificate. Okay.
Cutest
That's
little,
a-
is that a thing?
Yeah.
Everybody could be cute.
Right. Exactly.
And everybody can be bad.
Yes.
We
No,
need
but go
those
ahead.
grades there. So,
But
so those are like this. To me, I feel like they're simple. Because I know you can do them.
Right.
Like, it's nothing too hard. You can do this. You know, if you can learn all the lyrics to a song.
Now
you can learn this schoolwork.
My God,
you can get this. You know, so that's
That's pretty darn simple if you think about it. But if someone's in their ear telling them that, then that's what they get.
Exactly.
So.
And children, when they're young, especially the kindergarten, you know, even down to infancy, you know, when they're little, that's the biggest time of learning for them, that they can learn. They could pick up so many things. At that age, you can learn a lot of languages. Education is really big. So like what you were saying, if you could learn a rap song, can you imagine? You know, if you taught them, you know, the academics of things that's going on in the world and life and history, you know. It starts early.
Young scholars.
And the goal is to prepare them for tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, it's not about us today. It's not what's going on today or yesterday. It's preparing everyone for tomorrow. So we're going to get prepared to take a break. We hope that you guys are enjoying this show and enjoying Timmy and Timmy's call to action. We're going to have more information when we come right back. Stay tuned.
Did you know that your skin is your body's largest organ? And you should be aware of what you're applying to it. The more natural products you use, the better. The best place to start is with Did It For Love handmade natural body products, made with pure organic ingredients. Our Shea Body Butter Moisturizer is whipped to perfection and hydrates dry, cracked skin and protects from UV rays. Did It For Love Shea Body Butter Moisturizer is infused with essential oils. You can choose from scents like lavender, vanilla and sandalwood, white rose, and many more. Our deodorant has a fresh scent that not only works against odor, but also reduces sweat. With this toxin-free deodorant, you can feel fresh and confident all day long. You can also keep your lips healthy and kissable with our handmade lip balms. In healing and fruity scents like tantalizing peppermint to sensational green apple. Our products promote healthy, youthful-looking skin and is safe for the whole family. Vegan-friendly, cruelty-free, and gentle enough for cancer survivors and those going through treatment. Go to diditforlove.com today. Did It For Love, toxin-free for your whole family.
Hey everybody, welcome back to It's Time to Talk. We are live, Sunset Gower Studios, Hollywood. What? UBNRadioTV.com or Facebook Live. Thank you for tuning in. And if you've been following along with this very wonderful conversation, we have Timneisha Greene here with us. And she is a woman of so many hats. And it's wonderful. And because of that, I want to ask you, you mentioned that you were accepted into your master's program. Congratulations.
That is awesome.
It's wonderful. Yes. Quite interestingly enough, I was having a conversation with a millennial, and she was talking about education, and she was talking about she got her 4-year degree, and she was saying that a lot of kids in their 20s who did go to men in their 20s who did go to school and got a 4-year degree are a little disappointed. They don't have as much hope because the thing that they were sold on was what we were sold on when we were coming up, is that, you know, you go to school, you go to higher education, you go to college 4 years, and then you get out, you have an amazing job, pay off all those loans, and you're good to go. Well, that's not the case anymore. Now they're saying you have to have a master's to even compete, function, excel. So what do you have anything to say about that? Can you relate at all?
Oh, I can relate. When I got my bachelor's degree, you know, I started applying. Well, I started applying before I graduated. And then no jobs, you know, I couldn't get the job. And I was like, what's going on, you know? And I even spoke to people that had, you know, their bachelor's and their master's, and they're like, oh, you have to get your master's. You know, the world is changing.
It
like
sure is.
They're demanding so much more. And so it's like, I wouldn't say, you know, for those that just get their 4-year, the bachelor's, to, you know, give up, you know. There's something for everyone, but I would say, like, don't stop there. Like, continue because of how the world is changing, and you know, so how the competition of jobs and everything. Like, it's better to just have so much on your resume to just wow them, you know, so they can't close the door on you. So.
And I think that's why this is so important, what you're doing. It just really is like an amazing thing, because like you were saying earlier, you know, this is disparaging, basically, you know, the disparity in education among certain groups, you know, African Americans, you know. We need stuff like this, because we're being left behind.
Oh yes.
Just put it point blank.
Yes,
you know, in terms of education, things like that. And now they've raised the bar. You know.
Yes.
So it's like, how are you to get the word out? How to compete? How to get in there? At least get your foot in the door. It's not. You know. It's just being part of society, being part of the world where you can be a productive citizen, you know. But so it's like, because you just don't want people dropping out, giving up, things like that. So it takes programs such as this, and you know, these causes that, you know, young people like yourself are doing, and it takes everybody just to get involved. That's really just about getting involved and supporting and helping one another. So I think this is very important. Very important what you're doing.
And when I thank you. And when I was in you know, the bachelor's degree area, I actually had a class, and it was focused on childhood, and it was focused on childhood education. And in the book that we used, there were talking about different children from different backgrounds. Like, so there was like a rich person, a poor person, African American, a white, Latino. It was saying the differences in how they act in school. And so it shocked me. But people of color, we are taught to like respect authority. I mean, it's not a bad thing, and you know, I don't want my butt whooped.
Right.
But we're taught to respect authority. But sometimes that can block us. Whereas other people, not people of color, they are like, they feel entitled because they are raised to feel entitled. And so in that book, it's like, so the privileged people, they would challenge their teachers. They would challenge their professors. Like, no, this isn't correct. You know, and then whereas the people of color were like, yes,
just
okay.
accept it.
And so that just made me feel like, okay, let me push education and let me tell these children, like, to challenge it. You know, if you know something's right, challenge it. Or even if, you know, if you don't know something, or something seems weird, or you know, confusing, challenge that, ask questions. And so that leaks over into adulthood. You know,
I was thinking when you were saying that, I was like, we see it every day. And as people of color, we see it every day. When we try, maybe a little too late, when we try to challenge authority, it's like, it doesn't work well in our favor.
It doesn't. So I feel like that book just opened my eyes, you know, to tell these children that they are someone, and you know, you have a voice. You are entitled. You know, you're entitled to have this education. You're entitled to have that job. You're entitled to it just like the next person. And so even with this scholarship program, I'm also trying to build character and things of that sort, you know. So.
And I think that's great. And I think we as parents should encourage that as well. You know, if we know now, you know, we know that this is going on in our society, in our schools. It's in a textbook, for crying out loud. It's a thing, right? I know I keep saying that, but it's a thing. So now that we know, so as a parent, you know, I will tell my son, well, one great thing about my son is that he's very, very good at math and a lot of other subjects. He had an awesome math teacher when he was in the 8th grade. She'd be writing on the board, and sometimes she would mess up the equation, and my son, along with a couple other students, would correct her. And she loved it, and she welcomed it. Oftentimes, the teacher is not loving it or welcoming it. You know, that's the hard part. Because I did hear of a story of a teacher who was messing up, and I don't know what subject it was, but the student would correct her, and she started bullying the student.
Oh my goodness!
Because she was so upset that this child is correcting her.
Right.
You know, but my point is, as parents, we should always have our child's back, and we should always let them know. You know what? Yeah, if you challenge them, whatever, I'm gonna be there for you. I'm gonna support you. Right. Communicate with me what's going on, but because it is that authority thing. It is a teacher versus a student, and coming up, we're all, you know, from a child on up, we respect your elders. Say this. We're it's ingrained in us.
It is, and it's just crazy when I read that in the book. Like, oh, wait a minute, this like. In certain areas, you have to know, like, okay, you can challenge. I mean, your parents, you don't want to get in trouble.
No.
But, like, when you go out in the real world, you have to have a voice. You have to know that, that job is yours.
Yeah.
That education is yours.
Yes,
like it's
absolutely.
yours as well.
And I think that's a big fight for a lot of people. I think that's a lot of, and you know what? Seriously, a lot of pent up anger because people want to speak their minds and voice what's going on, or they don't want someone talking about you should do this, you should do this, and I think they turn to anger, and then it festers, and then next thing you know, this might be extreme. They're shooting up the place,
Right.
Because they never had a voice. They never felt entitled to just be.
Yeah, and it's just so. This scholarship program, it can build so much encouragement and motivation for these youth, and it's just a big deal for me because I know like what happens when you're younger affects what happens when you're older.
Right.
So it's like just grab them while they're kids and instill in them that education is a good thing.
Yeah, it sets you up for life. I know our mom, she's a big advocate for us. She always believes that, especially with the gun violence, she believes that telling children at a very, very young age, not to pick up a gun, how guns can hurt people, kill people, things like that. She thinks that could starting at that young age, it could really stop or slow down the crimes that we have amongst young black on black crime, young males, things like gangs and things like that. It's educating the children at a very young age. You start young, so that way, as the Bible, there's a Bible verse, train as a child, and then when they grow, they won't train up a child, and they won't depart when they get old. I'm sorry, I'm screwing it up, but it is really true.
Yes, it is.
Whatever you teach a child, they will not depart from it as they grow up and get older, and they can keep, they will be that person. So,
but the point is to start really, like you're saying, start really young, because by the time it's 10, 11, it's almost too late.
Yeah,
to instill those.
They're
things
already
in them.
who they are. at that age. So
Awesome. Well, like I said before, she's a woman of many hats. So you also have something else going on. She's like, hey, little shimmy.
That's a nice little segue.
Now, you have what is it, Deidre? It's a collection of... Deidre's like looking at her phone.
I'm sorry. The FIG and an acronym E&I.
Okay.
Yes.
So explain what that is.
Okay, so the FIG E&I, it's a hat line. I don't think
I love it.
Hold it. Can we see it? There we go.
Okay, so it's a hat line, and it has a fig tree here, and it says the FIG. So I started this because...
Let's see. I'll hold it up too.
I started this not too long ago. I believe I started it last year. And it was because I was in school, and, you're always learning something. And I was learning about the criminal justice field. And I learned about the prison industrial complex and how institutions, basically for the people of color, they set us up to fail.
Right.
And so I was like, some children are out. I know like a lot of children are in, starting to have behavioral problems with, joining gangs and just being delinquent. And, they just need guidance.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And also I just was, when I was younger, I was like, oh, they're so bad. But then I was like, wait, when I got into college, I'm like, they set us up for that.
Right.
And so I wanted to start this hat line. And the reason why it's called the FIG, it comes from my family. My grandparents' house, they had a fig tree in the backyard. Oh my gosh, my grandparents have so many grandkids. I can't even count.
Wow.
Like there's probably more than 60 of us.
Wow.
Yes, it's a lot of us.
Huge
Grandkids,
family.
great-grand. It's so many of us. And if one person did something bad, we all were sent to the fig tree.
Oh, wow.
The fig tree at nighttime, it could be 2 o'clock in the morning. The fig tree, they tell scary stories. Like, there's a ghost back there in the backyard. And I was like, okay, this feels like prison. Like, this is enough,
Wait, you sent to the fig tree to do what? Just stand around
Like
it?
a timeout.
Everybody? No matter what time?
Y'all watching. I have nightmares of that. Okay? I think I really seen a ghost. So, yeah, it was like a discipline. So it was another way of disciplining.
Okay.
Like, you in trouble, get sent to the fig tree 2 o'clock in the morning. You're sitting out there late at night crying.
So you don't like figs to this day, I tell you.
No, and the thing is, I had older cousins, like like it's a lot of us. So I could have been 5, and then I had a cousin that was 17.
Man.
We're all under there together. They're telling scary stories. I'm crying. So, and that was enough for me. Like, okay, I'm gonna get my act together.
Yeah.
That was
At 5 years old, gotta get my life right.
It really taught me. It taught me a lot. It taught me obedience. It taught me, discipline. I didn't need to. Now I didn't need jail to do that.
Okay, right.
This
Okay.
was like the fig tree was like jail
was like
to me,
jail.
and so that's why I named it the FIG. E&I stands for Education, Not Incarceration, which I'm really big on.
I love that.
Is especially in our community, again, people of color, minority populations, to promote education, because we are set up to fail. Well, we're set up to fail, to be honest, So I wanted to push, education, not incarceration. There's people I know, even relatives that have been locked up, the teenage years, some teenagers in my family weren't out on their 21st birthday, and just speaking to them, when they communicate with me, it was a mistake. I'm sorry, I was young. And I believe them. I know, because I know my family, you do something delinquent and now you're in jail, which they set you up to, do stuff like that because they don't give us as many opportunities anyway. They don't give us good educations, jobs. They don't, they don't just hand it to you. So, you are left with, delinquent, getting involved with that stuff if you're not on the right track. And so, when I hear their stories, I want to go back to school. This whole thing is, I'm not big on punishment. I'm big on rehabilitation.
That's right.
And so I did this hotline because, I want to speak to delinquent youth. I would love to speak to delinquent youth and, teach them like the right way to go. Because I was actually raised in Watts. 18 years I lived in Watts, And so, others, other people my age, some were locked up, some were doing drugs and things like that. And it's like, if I was able to get out of that, or, I never was in the whole jail. But if I was able to, if I was able to walk out of that environment, so can everyone else. And so that's why I promote, education. Anytime someone speaks about throw them in jail, I'm like, no, rehabilitate them. They don't know any better. Guide them, So,
And there's always that society, the double standard, like, two same, young men could be doing the same thing. They could be a different race, different culture, and one would be, that's just what boys do. Let them go. That's not, and that's you're in jail for life. You know what I mean? So we have, like you said, the setup for failure. So that's why this is so important. Just the education, because that's where the education is that foundation for us. I think as a people so that we don't get caught up in the system, so that we're not caught up in that, in the situation.
So true.
Yeah.
So true.
And the earlier the better.
How do we as everyday people connect with the youth? How do we do it and say and encourage them? I think we leave the responsibility to so many other people, so much, and we'll be, all across this country riding on subways, and you see somebody acting up, and you don't want to get involved because now they might have a weapon. They might come get you, or, you can be at the bus stop, or you can just be in your own car. And all we're doing now is just shaking our heads like, no home training and oh my gosh, but how can we, in our hearts, I believe, we may want to help a little more, or we want to say something like I said, but there's that fear. So how would you approach like someone, and I'm not just saying in everyday life, you see someone acting up, I'm just saying, since you have a heart for it, how would you speak to some kids on that level?
I think I got blessed because I look young, so they think I'm their friend. They do. They think I'm their homegirl. I'm like, I'm 29 years old. I was changing your diapers. They connect with me on that level because I do start off as a friend. Like, if they want to go to the club, or something like that, I'll say, oh, did you do your homework? Like, it sounds like cliche and kind of, corny, but that actually gets their attention that someone cares for them. And then I did start this, I did start the hotline because I know like the youth are into fashion. If you have something on your your hat, you know,
Right.
you wearing it,
Right.
they'll see it.
Right.
Right.
Mhm.
You don't even have to say anything.
Exactly.
They'll see it. They
Right.
know what you stand for, and they know what you stand for. They know, oh, you're about your business.
Right.
You're serious.
Right.
And so, but I do connect with youth because I've also lived it. I never was, a delinquent person. I've never gotten in trouble with the law, but I lived in that society, you know, and I can speak to them like, you know, I was raised in Watts, you know, I had people, I lived in that environment. So just having, I guess, personal connections with them.
Right,
you know,
right.
Mm-hmm.
It's, you can relate, you know,
Yeah,
they can relate to you,
Mhm,
you know,
yeah.
and that's where it starts because a lot of people, especially young people too, they just always feel like they're not being heard.
Exactly.
Their voice doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
and nobody
you know,
cares.
Nobody cares.
It's just not a good feeling to feel like nobody cares for you.
Right.
And you
That's
are in this
terrible.
world where it seems like everyone is for themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every man for themselves.
Right.
And it's like, I want you all to know like that I'm here. I'm here. So, yeah.
That's
So
beautiful.
I love the social media promotion, and I almost just want, you know, I think you should create something else. I think you should create maybe some little, I don't know, you know how you go to social media and you see everyone turning up and fighting, and you know there's all those posts that just I
Yeah.
cannot stand.
Oh my gosh,
Let's-
posting
I can't
fights
stand
on
it
all
either.
the
it's just-
time.
It's horrible.
But there should be like some other type of post, maybe another type of post that could go viral of maybe like the same type of thing. People, this might be a little corny, but studying and somebody, you know, teaching somebody just one-on-one something instead of fighting,
Right.
you know, but
Yeah.
but inundate us with it, you know,
Yes.
since they inundate my freaking timeline with fights and
Yeah.
Yeah.
craziness
Yeah.
and women going after each other and men going after women and whatever.
Yeah, that's so
you know,
true.
to see that, I don't see that enough, you
right.
know.
Right.
I would love to do something
You know,
like
so maybe
that.
maybe incorporate it with something that you're doing, and
Yeah.
you know, with the
I would
whole
love to do that.
education instead of what
Yeah.
is it? I'm sorry, I don't want to mess
Education,
it up.
not
Education, not
incarceration.
incarceration.
Yeah. I
You
love
know,
that.
because social media is the best vehicle right
It
now, and
is.
Yeah.
it's free.
And yeah,
Right.
that's the way to connect with the
Advertising?
youth.
Absolutely.
Nowadays,
yeah, absolutely.
it's media, social media.
Absolutely,
I want one of those hats. Where can we get one of those
I
hats?
love it.
They can
So-
tell everybody where they can get that hat.
I'm like, in my mind, I was like, did she bring something?
Whatever. So
Give me
you
a
can
ride
find
home.
me.
Let's not forget this.
I'll say we know where you live anyway.
I brought you here. I can leave you here.
I got you. So you can find me on Instagram is the Fig ENI DAFIGENI is where you can find me. Make it easy for people if they want to purchase. They can purchase through PayPal. I am going to start a new website. I had a website, but I want to remodel it. So I'll put that out on my Instagram once that comes out. And that's how you can reach me for anything, even the scholarship. That's how they can
Okay.
reach
Okay,
me.
for the scholarship as
Yeah.
well.
I see
Okay.
this growing so much. I mean, I see you
know.
just going out and speaking. Well, no, seriously, because this is something that is much needed. And I see you going out to schools and different programs, just letting everybody know. I see it.
God willing.
Yeah.
God bless me. Yeah.
And then did we talk? We didn't talk about how much are the scholarships? Like what? How much is it?
The
just
award-
from-
the
award
award
amount?
amounts?
Yeah.
So there's 5 winners. First place $100.
Okay.
Second place is $75. Third place is $50. Fourth place is $25.
Okay.
And then the fifth place get a $25 gift card to somewhere of their choice.
Okay.
So
Very
somewhere of their
nice.
liking.
Very
Okay.
nice. And we'll be steadily growing and donating in different things.
Thank
That's
you.
love it. I love it. Love
Thank
it.
I'm so proud of you.
I know. I am
You know,
too.
you
Very
meet,
impressive.
you know what? Let this be a lesson. You cannot
For
judge
all
a book
ages.
by its cover.
Especially the older ages.
I might as well have a mirror right here. Let this be a lesson to you, April. Because you meet people, and you know,
Yeah.
we are so quick to don't take this personal. I'm just saying on a larger level, we are so quick to judge each other,
Right.
and you never know the love and the gifts that people have inside of themselves for you.
Right.
And we're so quick to just brush each other off. We're so quick to say, "Oh, I'm better than that person," or "I'm worse off than that person." And we're so quick to just dismiss everything. Like we are walking around some jewels.
Right.
You know, we are walking around some beautiful, beautiful hearts
We
and
are.
souls in this world. And I think if we wake up and pay attention and express ourselves and they can express themselves to us, we can all just, this
Yeah.
world can be so much better.
And you never know who's
Yeah.
there to help
You
you.
never
Who's your
know.
gift, you know,
Yes.
and who has the information that you're looking for. The
Yes.
you know, the avenue, the resources that you're seeking. You know,
Yes.
just by speaking to each other.
And it's not that I
talking.
thought of anything, I just
no.
want to clear this up. But you're just a mighty woman.
Thank you.
And I'm
Thank
so
you.
proud of you.
Thank you.
I am too.
Just to
To
hear
God
about
be the
all the
glory.
things that
Yes.
to God be
To
the
God
glory.
be the
Just
glory.
to hear about all the wonderful accomplishments that you are going through and doing, and
Yeah.
I'm just glad that I can watch you grow.
Aw, thank you.
So thank you for coming on the
Thank
show.
you. Thanks
Thank
for having
you.
me.
We
You're
thank
so
everybody
welcome.
for tuning in.
Yes.
We hope that you tune in a couple of weeks where we'll be back. We love you so much, and we just
Yes.
thank you for your support. And Jarvis, we thank you.
Thank you, Jarvis.
Thank
all
you.
the time for just this awesome show that you helped produce. And we just
Yeah.
we
just
give
thank
God
you.
the glory.
Absolutely.
Amen.
And thank you again, Tim. Tell
Thank
us
you
again
again,
where they
Timneisha,
can
please.
go to your Facebook or your
You can
Instagram,
reach
right?
me at the Fig ENI. That's DAFIGENI on Instagram.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
having
So
me.
thank you for tuning in
thank
to
you,
It's
loves.
Time to Talk. And
Your conversation is your affirmation, so remember that. Much love.